I'm joined by Klaus Kleinfeld, the CEO of Alcoa. Thank you for the time. Appreciate it. We're talking about these export deals worked out between U.S. firms, some of their Chinese counterparts. Tell us about this particular memorandum of understanding. What does it mean for Alcoa? How is it going to help your business?
It's actually a three-prong memorandum of understanding, so it's an early stage. One thing is to jointly develop the Chinese market. Second thing is to basically go abroad and allow the Chinese companies with us to develop opportunities outside of China, and by that also restructure their pretty inefficient manufacturing structure that they have in our industry in China. And the third one is to deal with the way how to import materials into China, setting up import relations there. So that's what it is.
And what does this raise in terms of the prospect for Alcoa technology? You all, biggest producer of aluminum in the United States, China, the biggest consumer of aluminum right now. What does it mean for protecting your technology? Will this mean Alcoa technology will go to China?
Well, we already are in China. We have 3 operations in China in what we call the midstream value-add businesses. This caters to industries that will substantially grow and are growing: automotive industry, building and construction, and aerospace. We just saw a big deal signed today. This is something where we will absolutely make sure that it will work in a very effective way, that we also get the patent protection. This is very much also in the interest of our Chinese partner. Just yesterday night, we had a dinner after the signing of the memorandum of understanding, and a lot of questions circled around how can we get the patents protected at a very early point in time. That's very much in the interest of the Chinese, and I have seen over the last basically 10 years that it has gotten much, much better, and actually because there's a lot of Chinese companies that are developing technology today and that also want the protection.
China, at the same time, has been scaling back some of its aluminum production, in part because of some of those energy concerns that you talked about, that you all can help, perhaps, with. What's your sense about Chinese demand for aluminum, the pricing going forward? How is that going to change?
Well, the demand last year was growing by 21%. It's already about more than 40% of the world market. This year, we believe it's going to grow by 15%. That is substantial. The whole world market, we believe this year is going to grow at 12%, last year 13%. So aluminum goes into so many products. It's essential to build your economy, particularly when you're going through the structural changes that China is going through. Chinese know that. That's why they build up their industry. But when you look at the players, they are at a very high point on the cost curve, right? The reason why they are operating those ones is because they want to have a secure supply. So the point there, and that's also where our relationship now comes into the game, is give Chinese companies secure supply, but with more efficient basis of power. And that doesn't necessarily have to be in China. There are places like in Iceland, right, where the power is abundant and it's clean power. It's all hydropower. Those are things which make sense, I mean, to manufacture there and basically have it used in China instead of using energy, coal-fired energy, not sustainable, you know, highly pollutant in China. And that's, I think, also one reason why the Chinese are interested in this.
Talk to me about the big picture about doing business with China right now and your level of optimism that this state visit from President Hu, the conversations he has with President Obama, will translate into more business for U.S. companies looking to do business in China, looking to export goods and services there.
I think there's no doubt. I mean, I don't know whether you had a chance to look at the list that was just released from the White House.
$45 billion. That's a big dollar.
That's big dollar amounts and different stages, different specificity. But when you go through the list, you can see how many companies in the U.S. are involved in that. And I think a state visit like this always puts the limelight, the attention onto a certain relationship. I personally believe, and have seen it many times, that a sound business relationship is probably the best as a foundation for a good political relationship. And I think that this visit already today shows that a lot has been achieved on that front, and we will all profit from it. It's a large, growing and emerging market, and it has a lot of opportunities for U.S. companies to go in it. It's probably not so natural that U.S. companies have been focusing on export and have been focusing on China, and with this there's a special attention. The deal that we signed yesterday would have not been developed in such a pretty substantial speed if it hadn't been for the state visit. These are the natural phenomena of such visits.
So it wasn't tied to the visit directly, but certainly helped by it.
Very much so.
All right. Klaus Kleinfeld, he's the Alcoa CEO. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.